Well, welcome back. I'm playing Ash of Gods, Redemption, and I think I had bought some items, right? Yeah, which I don't know. I may or may not want. I don't think anybody is injured, right? Yes. I'll put that on you just because we can. You know what I'm actually looking at is I think when they have these red backgrounds, I think that actually advances the story. I'm a little embarrassed to say I haven't noticed that until now. So let's check out some of these other places first. Hode's been on edge since you entered the city. It would be a good idea to see what's gotten into him. You've been a bundle of nerves since we arrived in Ursus. Afraid they'll notice you, cover your face with a rag or something, and no one will bother looking at you. Shek's already noticed me. What could bring a commander of the guard down to the gate, I wonder? I didn't even understand what you were talking about. I think Shek offered to lend us a hand, and Hode, the proud boy, turned him down. Not the brightest idea, if you ask me. At least Shek didn't give us away. He didn't understand. Don't you understand that we're at his mercy? Maybe he's trying to profit by selling me out to my grandfather. What's done is done. We just need to be more careful next time. So I started to do this and I misclicked and I actually missed the whole point, so I'm doing this again. How'd you manage to get into a fight with your grandfather? All the same. Same as all his other grandkids. Stepped out of line, gets you more than you bargained for. Even my dad tries to stay out of Grandpa's sight. That's why he hid me away and is lying low himself. Do royal families not teach children to respect their elders? It's not just your well-being that should be on your mind, but also that of the whole kingdom. Angrily, I keep to myself until I was 17. Then they got the idea to marry me off to a Jabonan princess. She was 15-year-olds and ugly as a reaper. I don't want to spoil the Juranian bloodline with generations of hideous hairs. Shrugging, well then, I've got no more questions. I've seen that princess of yours and I'm still having nightmares. Your father ought to give us a handsome reward. I mean, by protecting you, we're protecting the whole of Jurana. The reaping is upon us. Shouldn't you get back to the palace? If my father were here, maybe I would have risked it. I won't be going in front of my grandfather alone. I've been sent to join the Albinus company to sort myself out and learn to respect my elders. Can't exactly get up and leave, can I? Old Codger's not cruel enough to execute his own grandchild now, is he? If we don't part ways, you're likely to take a stray arrow to the head. That'd be the end of me. Well, I'll be off the hook, but my grandfather realizes that was you who got us out of Albinus and then dragged us in front of one end of the kingdom to another. Your life's on the line. My pleas to the king will fall on deaf ears. We need to get through to my father if we want to sort this out. Alright, I get it. I've heard enough about how the king of Jurana values the lives of others. I won't be risking my neck. Won't you get us into trouble? Why would I? I don't want any trouble. I'm good at following orders and keeping my nose clean. I'm concerned your father might send a search party or two. Since you're not home yet, he might think that I'm holding you hostage. That's exactly why sending me away isn't the brightest idea. If I remain by your side, I can put in the good word for you during my inquiry. Makes sense. You should stick with us, I suppose. Don't get yourself killed. We still got some unfinished business. You increased your loyalty with Hode. Burned down house. This house is burned down recently. Burned down house draws your attention. You inspect it, and the other house is nearby. What kind of battle took place here? Glenda looks around. Why do you think there was a battle? A broken door and some shattered windows seems pretty normal during a fire. You chuckle. And why would a firefighters besiege the house? See the arrow stuck in the walls by the windows, and all this blood on the pavement. They didn't even try to wash it off. Ursus may be less safe than I thought. Glenda looks around, and here I was wondering why the streets were so empty. Almost no travelers at the gate too, and the town swarming with guardsmen. What's going on here? It's already over. You correct her. Otherwise, they'd not have let us into the city and ordered the seal of our weapons. We need to ask the locals what happened. The Menhir, you must determine the condition of the local Menhir. The guard stopped you by the Menhir, no trespassing. Sorry for those who... but those are the temple's orders. Afraid not. It is far from the first time we've closed it. Let's just let it regain its power and it'll start healing people again. For now, it's off limits. Vi pulls you aside. Perhaps we should ask the local monks about this. Who knows? They may grant us passage in return for a favor, though they may request that I remain at the temple. Hell no! I'm not giving up another character. You ponder whether getting the Menhir is worth the risk of sending Vi away. The local abbot will, of course, try to retain the wandering monk. But it might be unwise to let such an opportunity pass you by. Oh! Well, I'm trying to think. It just lets you heal up wounds, right? Because that's what happened on the other one, and I don't have anybody that's injured. Hell, no, you're coming with me. Tell Vi to accompany you. You pat Vi on the shoulder. Let's not bother the temple servants. What do you say? Besides, I require your assistance. We should leave and try to find some other way to save ourselves from this reaping. We might still be able to find an active Menhir. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Screw that noise. So I guess the question is do I go to Teek's Inn? Or do I go to Unda's house? A prominent healer lives there. She's not busy when she's not busy roaming the world. I feel like that's a hard advance. But it says this is advancing too. I'm gonna go here. I'm probably gonna miss out on this. That sucks. Well, let's see what happens. Unda's house. A prominent healer lives there when she's not busy roaming the world. You find Unda's house and knock on the door. There's no answer, but the door slowly swings open. You enter. The house seems empty, but the door to the courtyard is open. You feel like you should be on your guard. Hode. Watch the entrance. No telling who else might want to pay us a visit. I don't like it here. What's that smell? Potions? Alright, let's check the courtyard. If Unda isn't here, that means we missed her again. We're gonna beat this old lady up. Philia. A registered healer, citizen, subject of Duran and Crown, licensed to provide non-magical treatment through herbs and potions, and sell concocted remedies. A bastard of obscure parentage, mother named Unda, whereabouts unknown, has no income, benefactors, or bondsmen according to the census records and tax documents. No fines, charges, corporal punishment, or prison sentence, except several warnings for unlicensed use of magic and healing, single and childless. You see a woman by the stone table in the courtyard. She notices you and flinches. If you are looking for Unda, she's not here anymore. I'm her daughter, Philia, but I don't deal with healing or fortune telling. Please leave. Glenda steps forward. Chilia sent us. She told us Unda could offer help. She also asked you to tell us the source should be preserved. Philia closes her eyes for a moment and then looks to the table. You draw closer and notice a message chalked onto the stone behind you. You hear screaming coming from inside and turn sharply. Enses swarm from the house in droves. You are ready your weapons and notice Philia's gone. Perhaps it's the best she just get in your way. It doesn't tell me anything about him. Okay. Alright, well. I kind of wonder if I shouldn't be using Hode, but I feel like he's going to abandon me as well. I probably should actually be using her. But I got kind of frustrated with it early on. Alright, we got just the standard guys. What is this? That's the healer. Alright, so two different healers. He's got retaliation, mass defense. Alright, well, let's just move you guys down, I guess. Increase attack by 2 and walking distance all party members when this character dies. Deals 10 damage to energy to a random enemy unit when you kill the enemy. Alright, well, fine, fair enough. Increase energy. We'll just get it started, I guess. Do that. Alright, good. I assumed that was going to be what you were going to do. Alright, let's move you up. Move you there. Come up here. Alright, you come up here. Alright, you come here. Heal this guy. Messing me up here a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to kill 2 of them, so we'll do that. Let's run you over here. Do that. That's a big hit. here. Exhausting shot. Wow, you do a lot of damage. Alright, kill him. How do I want to do this? Let's get you down here. Okay, so so he is attacking you. So let's get you that. Good. You come back here. No! Leave my guy alone. Alright, I can just kill him. Nice. Nice level ups. You rush into the house after the battle and find Hode leaning against the wall. He spits in a pool of blood, a blade shard stuck in his chest. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. An NC with a knife protruding from his eye lies nearby. Node smiles, managed to get him, he whispers. Bastard didn't know who he was dealing with. Philia pushes you away. She's holding some kind of flask. Let me through. The wound's severe. Don't get in my way. Get out of here. You leave Hode in the care of Philia, a healer. As luck would have it, you return to the backyard. You look over the NC's corpses and wonder if you should leave now. Will the gods show the prince mercy? The healer interrupts your thoughts. Philia looks exhausted but fulfilled. He'll live. It may take a week to sleep it off, but he'll be okay. You need to find him a good healer, though. Fixing him up was tough. Definitely not a job for amateurs. Many thanks for saving me are in order. We should thank you. If we're done with the pleasantries, I've got a couple of questions for you. What were those NCs doing here? Hiding. They were here for several days. They weren't going to kill me, but they wouldn't let me go either. I cooked for them, dressed their wounds, and diverted those who came sneaking about. If I hadn't made them myself useful, they'd killed me right away. They probably still would have eventually.
Hey.
They were lucky. Unda's house would be the last one guards would check. From what I've heard, many find your mother intimidating. Some even say she's a witch. Why'd your guests leave the door unlocked? You have to bring them back to life to get an answer. Perhaps they wanted to practice and bit off more than they could chew. In any case, they're gone. Such fear they caused me. Let me catch my breath. Did Unda teach you healing? If you'll keep quiet, I'll tell you this. There is no Unda. Never has there been one. I did all the healing. Unda was a kind of a scarecrow. I fed the citizen rumors of the witch, so most people avoided my house. That's all I really wanted. Surprised amazing. So you were the one who started the rumors and pretended to be your daughter. Very clever, I grant you that. The only other option is to become a court physician. The king collects everything of quality. There are more temple servants in the palace than fleas on a stray dog. You know how they treat healers like me? We don't have an inquisition here like in the north, but they'd surely make my life miserable for me. What source was Chyla referring to? There's no simple explanation. It's all foreign. The reapings, the reapers, the land used to have power all of its own. But it's dormant now. Very few still possess it. But it lives in your daughter. Chyla does not make mistakes. Are you saying my daughter is special in some way and requires protection from whom or what? From those who seek her power or wish to destroy it or use it for their own ends. Don't ask me. Just protect your daughter. Who is Chyla? I can expose her secrets, but I will tell you this. She is my mentor, my guardian, and more. If she says something, you better listen. She didn't say much. If you're her student, have you any counsel to offer? What should I do? How can we cure the plague? Is it even possible? Can we hope for divine assistance? Do not ask for divine intervention, for the gods aren't given naught. The Meniers offer no cure when reap time is upon us, as they absorb the poison from the air. There are other stones, hidden but protected. They offer salvation. You must go to Opacum as soon as possible. Thank you. I've learned a lot. What are you going to do now? Wearily, I don't know yet. I just need to wrap my mind around it. Will you let us stay and rest? Wait, what's that noise out there? As you enter the house, you hear a muffled voice. Thorn Brennan, by order of the king, you are under arrest. Open the door or we'll knock it down. Don't even think of fleeing. We have guards outside at the neighboring houses. You return to Philia. Can you lead us out of here? Or at least save my daughter? Do you remember Chila's advice? Philia bites her lip and thinks for a moment. No, I can't leave everybody out. Only Glenda. Give me your hand, girl. Time is of the essence. Glenda hesitates for a moment and then meets your solemn gaze. She nods and follows Philia to the courtyard. You watch your daughter walk away and then take Hode into your arms. You go out into the street. A whole crowd of guards, mercenaries, and other soldiers waits for you. Besides their commander stands Bron Beachty. He grins with malice when he sees you there. Prince O, perished? No, he's only wounded. Guards, lift him up carefully. Take him to the palace. O Thorn, pray that he lives. We've no proof of your other offenses just yet, but if this prince dies, there's no denying your role in that. In that case, we should say our goodbyes, Shek. Whatever happens to the prince now, there's no hope of a fair trial for my other offenses if Bron has a hand in this. Bron Vici, you listen to him, Shek? You call yourself a commander? Search the house. He had his daughter with him. She's hiding somewhere. Find her. Teach your wife to make soup, though I doubt any woman would have you. Boys, lead the prisoner to jail and shoo away the onlookers. The guards separate you from your companions and lead you away. You hear Bron swear in frustration. With a heavy heart, you follow the guards to a gloomy building. The gate squeaks open and you soon find yourself behind bars. The other cells are empty. You decide to rest, but in a couple hours, Shek and Bron return to pay you a visit. Wincing. That's the thing, Thorn. Rules dictate that I allow your relatives to visit you. Bron Vici is technically your brother-in-law, and he insisted on a meeting to be arranged. Just indulge him, alright? At times, even family ought to be avoided, and this is one of those times. Turning to face Bron. Bron, come to mock me. Aren't you afraid, Bron? After all, I'm neither shackled nor half beaten to death. Gritting your teeth. You find it funny, don't you? Well, I've got some news that'll turn your smile upside down, some of which directly concerns your fate. The rest is about your son, your daughter, and your father-in-law. Where, oh where should I start? Here to His Grace Count Vichti, graduate of the Page Corps and honorary 8th Chamberlain of the Royal House of Odala, veteran of the Palin and Gabon campaigns, commended by the King and rewarded with a velvet ribbon and page insignia by the King, administrator of the Pelian War Veteran Society of Oda, benefactor of the Traders Market at the Odalan Temple, and overseer of the Odalan Militia and Guards. Crown Court records include several indictments for slander, gross misconduct, assault, destruction of property, and extortion to cover accrued debts for goods and services. His father bailed him out and helped him avoid punishment under the liability shift and redress laws. The secret office of the temple advises against his service at court since he claimed damages exceeded the potential profit. What he lacks in strength, bravery, and intelligence, he makes up with cunning, rancor, and stubbornness. He never forgives, and nothing gets in his way. Tell me about Mecht. Mecht has been hanging around the Odalan court, hasn't he? Don't you know that he took a small detachment to Frigga to assist the crown prince in Isana? Despite a shining display of courage, he was finally captured by cannibals, my dear Thorn. Man-eaters. You lie. Oh, why would I ever do such a thing? It's hardly a secret and easily proven from word from Frigga spreads fast. Oh wait, you're in prison. Not sure how you could have I could have forgotten that. Well, I guess you'll have to take my word for it. Well, whatever. What do you want to hear next? Tell me about Stakekt Vichti. My papa and I were saddened to learn of my dear sister has, how should I put it, passed on. That's probably old news to you. Were she still alive? Was she still with us? You wouldn't have fled Albinus without her. Nevertheless, Count the Count grieves deeply over the loss of his daughter. Father will probably also ask Tenor when he arrives to Opacum. Who knows, maybe we'll learn something new. Don't worry. I'll tell you all about it if I make it back before your execution, that is. My wife's death was no fault of mine. Don't hold out hope of the news being a death blow to your father. He might be old, but he's a tough nut to crack. You're just out to make me the villain, aren't you? At least I haven't killed my kin, unlike someone I know. Well, whatever. What do you want to hear next? Tell me about Glinda. Here's actual news. The actual news is that I'll find her very soon. No need to thank me. Family has to look after each other. After all, thinking about this poor child's tribulations, I can't help but to weep. All alone in the world, no place to call home, or maybe you don't give two pins about your own daughter. That's good news, actually. You don't know where Glinda is, which means I have no cause for concern. You don't really think I'm going to reveal the whereabouts of a woman who, along with my son, deprived you of an inheritance, do you? Feigning anger. Such detestable insinuations. Your words wound me. I am simply concerned with the well-being of my niece. Need I remind you that I am the representative of the kingdom of Odala and advisor of the king of Jirana? Perhaps I should ask the executioner to take his time with your head. 3 chops instead of 1, or 5. Our executioner has mastered his craft. It only takes 1 clean cut. He knows full well that I'll send him packing if he doesn't do his job properly. After all, I'm a commander of the guard here. With a sour smile. Never thought I'd be glad to hear those words, but thanks, Shek. Well, whatever. What do you want to hear next? Tell me about my fate. Your fate is no surprise. Prince Treg sent a courier prison requesting you be detained, and so you have been. Why in the world would you take his son with you? Now that the king wants your head, obviously. It's not like he has an endless supply of grandchildren. Bron's right on this one, Thorn. Pray the gods that Prince Ho awakens before you're executed. Maybe it'll soften the king's heart and he'll commune your sentence to lifelong imprisonment. Gloomily, I hope the gods show mercy and that Prince Ho, gets well soon. Just make sure you find a good healer, someone capable. It seems the axe is already being sharpened for me. No more news today, Thorn Brennan, or for the rest of your life. See you at the scaffold. Wouldn't miss it for the world. You've really gotten yourself into a bind, Thorn. They'll need 2 executions just to get even. Threg's letter also said that you killed some local guardsmen and townsfolk when you fled Albinus. Guess it's a good thing that you can't die twice. Pity about your companions on the floor below, though. Their fates are not yet sealed. They could join the penal company and scrub their records clean with blood. They've been under your command, haven't they? Thanks for the tip, Shek. I'll relay the message during the execution. Now, please leave me to my thoughts. I've got a lot on my mind. Sorry, I can't do it. The law states that you're required to bathe, and you need to be clean for the execution, physically at least. Peering into the cell next door. The moment I step out to wash, they'll give me a cellmate, a girl. The moment I step out to wash, they give me a cellmate, a girl, no less. Hey, who are you? What are you in for? That's no concern of yours, old fart. May the demons take you away. How foolish of me to hope for solitude in prison. It's rife with morons, or are they just too shy to take a leak? Go for it. I'm not looking. I've seen enough already. Andrea. An orphan raised in the Raidanian abode of the humble with her sister, titleless bastard and subject to the Raidonian crown, accompanied, according to the Book of Raidona, upon the Mother Superior's recommendation, presented as a low-ranking bodyguard. She's entitled to the abode's patronage until the age of 40 or death, upon marrying which she must be blessed and sanctified by Mother Superior. Taking up a job outside mercenary work or giving birth, she must pay related taxes. Once recruited, the license decrees that the patronage passes to the client, noted for being contradictory, high-handed, and insubordinate, and subject to corporal and disciplinary action supervised by royal service. What's at the crest on your sleeve? That's a HD coat of arms. Don't tell me you're bronze bodyguard. Oh, you're just ogling, but actually look. You weren't just ogling, but actually looking. You know your heraldry. Wait a moment. Are you Thorn Brennan, the maggot's bronze brother-in-law and archenemy? I must be his enemy. He considers me such. He's not my enemy, though I'd not call him a friend either. Yeah, I guess I'd say that, because she's clearly got a chip on his shoulder about him. Rivalry. Just as affection is strongest within a family, till death do us part, you seem to be the loser in this rivalry. You're in prison and Brahm is not. All you have to do is keep calm and think happy thoughts. Can't think of anything happy right now. My wife is dead, my daughter's gone, my son is missing, I think he's in trouble, and the country is plagued by the reaping and I'm awaiting execution. And that's just the beginning. Some trouble you got into, you man. Some trouble you got into, you man. Yeah, that's weird. Tell you what, everyone's got something to weep about. Dwelling on the simpler things will make you feel better. For example, I hit a certain bastard in the balls. That's a pleasant thought right there. Ron Vici getting kicked in by his own bodyguard? Unbelievable. Let me guess. You're from Radonia, aren't you? You must be an acolyte of the Monastery of Assassins, abode of the humble, isn't it? What made you serve a... well, what did you call him? A maggot? You have keen eyesight and a keen mind. Is there anything sweeter than freedom? My sisters and I were acolytes in the monastery, yes. But the only way to leave is to be hired. Ironic, isn't it? My desire for freedom led us to serve Bron. Who knew he'd turn out to be such a bastard? Oh, so she's going to be a replacement assassin for Hode. He started hitting on me. It'd be one thing if he were capable, but he's just a soft cock and a fancy britches. Oof. Said he would flog me to death if I started talking too much. I've no plans to stay here much longer. Will you turn into a bird and fly through the bars? Don't you want to fly away with me? Just say the word, unless, of course, you're going to be asleep. That's exactly what I'm going to do now, sleep. Let's conclude this pleasant exchange of ours. You may be right. A soldier's first rule, sleep whenever you can.
Finding the key for a tricky lock is sometimes easier than finding the right approach with a person. Dissonant words are like broken tools.
Alright. So now I'm back to this guy, right? Yes. And I've got 3 skill points. So let's get him his other passive ability. Mental Blast, -3 energy cost of the ability. I don't know, I don't really feel like I'm running out of energy with him very often. Devouring Blow. +3 to damage. So do I keep increasing my circular attack? Or should I start leveling up this? 1, 4, 5, 6. So I need 2 more levels before I can start getting these things. Unlocks Fire Blade. Deals 14 damage to health of all enemy units. Skill Fire Blade, -2 ability. Quick Mind, -1 to cooldown. Master of Combat. Quick Strike gets +2 damage. Is that my basic attack? Yes, it is. -1 to cooldown. So that effectively means I could do it almost every turn. So maybe that's why I would want to reduce the energy cost to it. Alright, let's do it. Why not? Alright, so I ran over this way with the Mink team. So since these guys don't really matter, why don't we go up to the shepherd's path here. Aki sees something under the brush and stops his horses. He takes his breath. Hey, who's there? Come out before I chop you down with this bush, he booms. A scared villager comes out of the bush. Drawing closer, you notice a cart lying on its side. What misfortune was he hiding from? Ask Aki to help the villager with his cart. Try to find out what's the matter. Move on. Let's try to help him. With effort, Aki puts the cart back onto its wheels. The villager is very grateful. He tries to say something, but trembles too violently. He just waves toward the road behind you. Wait for the villager to speak. Use a spell to make the villager talk. Go where the villager is pointing. Use a spell. A simple spell takes a lot of effort, making your black hand pulse in pain. You didn't expect this, but what's done is done. Oh, fuck you. After a short while, the village is capable of speaking. Sputtering but coherent, he explains that he and his son hid in the forest from masked warriors. His son was so frightened that he ran away. Search for the boy. Aki says that it's not fitting for a book lover to wander the woods and goes and search for the boy himself. You put up no argument and wait. Soon you hear the branches snapping and you see the party advances through a gap in the brambles. You tell the villager to take cover behind the cart and step forward. Alright, come and get me. Let's put you back here. It's end turn. Come get me. Deals 28 damage and increases your health. Well, that's interesting. I thought that was a regular ability, but that is not the case. He's gonna come attack me. Alright, you can come up here. That's fascinating. I was not expecting him to do that. Let's run you up here. Do that. So I'm gonna attack you. $20. Alright, let's get you over here. Let's do circular attack. Ooh, big hit. And kill. Nice and simple. Gains a skill point. The giant soon returns, piggybacking the boy. The villager recognizes his son and rejoices. Aki says that you've lost enough time already and should move on now. As you are about to leave, the villager stops you to relay his son's words. It appears that some old hag protected him from the NCs. She asked the boy to pass on these words. In the house you'll enter, look below your feet. You shrug and bid farewell to the villager. You don't reveal it, but it is clear that that was no ordinary hag. You wonder when this information will be useful. Alright, did I just gain another skill point? I did, 2 skill points now. Alright, let's get that, so now we can use it every turn. And I suspect I need to use the fire blade, right? Make it happen. Shepherd's Path, a dirt road, a dirt track used by local shepherds that looks like a tangle of several paths winding around boulders and shrubs. As you feel the reaping grow stronger, oh, the same thing, resist the curse. Gel. Along the way you come across a village in turmoil. People shouting, dogs barking, chickens clucking. A column of smoke billows from a drying barn. In the town square, several axe-wielding Gels are extorting the peasants for their copper coins and pitiful silver trinkets. Once they notice you, the Gels break for the nearby forest. The village casts dark looks at you and turn away. Chase the Gels. Aki fells the slowest thug in the chase's first moments. Evening the sides, you chase one of the thugs to the edge of the village and into the forest. The Gel takes you straight to his mates. They're all waiting for the raiding party's return. It's too late to do anything. The Gels draw their weapons and attack you. Alright, well, let's do this. Oh, I haven't gone yet. There we go. Let's do that. Oh, this can attack anywhere. Fascinating. This is an axe thrower. Holy shit, that hits everybody. Okay. Well, that's a thing. I guess let's move you over here. Well, that's gonna make all these battles super easy. Everybody's dead. Wow. Well, this just got crazy easy. After the battle, you return to the village and find all your companions waiting for you. We caught all of them, says Aki, breathing heavily, but they were damn fast. I've never seen gals run like that. You inform Aki that you've caught your own gal, making the giant Warriors smile. The street is completely deserted. The locals are in no rush to shower you with gratitude. You and Aki exchange glances, get on your horses, and hit the road again. You catch up to a band of Isayan bowmen and make camp together. Aki finds some old acquaintances, shares some good memories with them, until a looming prospect of battle comes up, eventually gives way to a daily hustle and bustle. The enticing smell of porridge made with hemp oil wafts him from the bubbling kettle over the fire. You decide to rest. The Isaiah Bowman happened to have a minstrel from the capital traveling with them. After dinner, the fellow removes the cover from his lute, which turns out to be completely out of tune, and hollers the ballad of 12 heroes. He slaughters the words and melody in equal measure. He sings some nonsense about a lovely lass and a mighty warrior who met by the triple Menhir, fell in love, and defeated no less than 24 reapers. You're furious at the fool for taking liberty to alter the lyrics commemorating your fallen comrades. He's a horrible singer, too. Berate the minstrel. Hex the minstrel. Keep quiet. Let's berate him. As the minstrel draws a deep breath to blute another verse of the hero's feats, you interrupt him with a hearty curse. The irritated singer asks you what's wrong. Everything you tell him. His voice, his instrument, and most importantly, he's butchering a beautiful song composed by a decent fellow. The minstrel bows mockingly. He claims that you're lying because the song is 600 years old and no one knows the original text. He suggests you take his lute and show him how it's done. You accept the instrument and tune the strings, although it's been 30 years since you last played. Then you strum the lute and the tune rolls and thrills like a stream. The minstrel grows pale. You erupt into song, one you composed after you cured your wounds and discovered that Amma was gone. You finish the ballad and your audience is completely silent. There is no trace of the minstrel. The bowmen are immersed in thought. Some have turned away from you and others can't hold back tears. You're in the wrong line of work, book lover. Aki whispers, shaking his head. You should be a singer. Believe it or not, I almost poured all my coins onto your lap. One hand had to stop the other. Our hero is kind of the Renaissance man, it seems like. The walls of Ursus already loom through the trees when you overhear sounds of fighting. You find Enses fighting a Jaranan horse patrol in a nearby meadow. Sorry, still had to cough. Aki grips his sword tightly. Hey, book lover. We should help the boys deal with these abominations. You just stay here away from the sharp blades. You shrug and dismount and watch the skirmish. Reinforcements are coming from the city gate, so the Enses won't stand a chance. A twig cracks, making you turn and unsheath your sword. Another Ense squad emerges from the nearby forest. Oh good, it is going to let me level up. Alright, Fire Blade, get that bad boy going. So I think no matter where I go, I'm going to get attacked. So let's get you over here. We'll run away. And use our fire sword. He's healing. Come get me. Well, Let's do it. Nice heal. Did you just waste my energy? Alright, I think no matter what I do, I'm gonna get attacked. Deadly jab. Alright, let's wait. Alright, let's move you over here. Come get me. Alright, you can start moving up. Start healing you. Because I need some energy back. Get that going. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Move you up here. Alright. Damn, you are such a boss. Skill points gained 1. Oh shit. Healer, what's the deal with you and those Enses? I've never seen such sword play. If you treat wounds as well as you fight, you could resurrect the dead or something. I can't do that, Aki. Besides, why do you need to reanimate the dead anyway? They're already in the hands of gods. It's the living we should be looking after. Showing interest, I cannot believe this. This peppy old man is a hero? Healer? You have my respect, sir. Never actually saw icons fight. But I don't think they'd give you much of a challenge. I'm Shek Commander. Oh, so they're going to bring this guy as the healer to save Ho, then it's going to meet Brennan, but Brennan's going to escape. I bet that's how this is all going to go down, and then we're going to have to continue our trails. Commander of the Guards of Ursus, at your service. Hopper Rowley, at your service. Never encountered an icon, and not eager to. Tempting fate is one thing, laughing in its face is something else entirely. Well said, Hopper. Thanks for your help. Never would have thought that I'd have to fend off enemies near my hometown walls, although it wasn't long ago I was nabbing similar beasts on the Ursus streets. There were NCs in town. Has the reaping gotten to Ursus too? Judging by the flags, the king is in town. Why not the capital, though? Have you by perchance seen Prince Ho? We know he has. Let's go here. Well, I would like to challenge him on the reaping, because they said that you're not allowed to talk about that at this town. If messengers are to be believed, it's the same mayhem as in Albinus. I'm not sure if it's the reaping, but many are getting sores on their necks, and the bell hasn't stopped ringing for days. No reaper here, but those white-masked abominations are popping up like mushrooms. NCs are drawn to the Menhir. The masked warriors always arrive just before the reaping, for they are its harbingers. They come eagerly rushing to sacred stones. Then the Menhirs accumulate poison and become deadly. True. Our stone killed some people too. We are not allowed near it now. Of course, we forbid even discussing this plight. For now, the ointments the monks bring from the temple supply do their job. It alleviates some of the pain. Judging by the flags, the king is in town. Why not the capital, though? They say war is coming on the western border, and that And which Brakanan kingdom will be the first one plunged into this mess? That's right, Jirana. Jabona's trouble is business as usual anyway. Besides, the king's old now, and his health is declining. His son, on the other hand, is young and healthy. His Highness is stationed in Ursus, by the way. It's hardly a big city, but it has more resources than Albinus, and twice its population. We even have a royal palace here. Just you wait till Prince Treg comes back, then it'll all be like it was. You don't believe this, do you, Shek? Nothing will be as it was anymore. If records of the previous reapings are to be believed, only 1 in 3 women survived, and 1 in 5 men weren't killed in the battle. Averting his gaze, I don't want to think of it. And what's the point of digging graves and crying over those who still live? Have you perchance seen Prince Ho? Thank the gods we found him at Unda's house. Unda the healer's house. He's suffering from a wound from the abomination's dagger. Everyone there was thrown into the dungeon, including Thorn Brennan. That didn't make the prince feel much better, though. His young highness is quite impatient. At least he's alive. His majesty is probably worried sick now. You said Thorn Brennan is in his dungeon? And what of his daughter? Of course he's in the dungeon. Bron Vici, Thorn's brother-in-law, made sure of that. The girl's vanished, though. Her uncle turned the whole town upside down to no avail. I see you know Brennan, since you are talking about his daughter. We've been hot on Captain Brennan's heels since Albinus. You could say that we know everything about him. We were supposed to bring back Prince Ho and arrest Thorn, all at Prince Treg's behest. Well, nothing left to do now. We didn't make it, though. It was all for naught. I feel like I massacred that. Maybe you don't care, but I need to get to the dungeon and talk with Thorn Brennan right now. What did you say, Shek? The book lover wouldn't ask without reason. Give us a short meeting. I can attend if you don't, so you don't feel pressured. Besides, he defeated the abominations that were ready to tear into your guards. You may be right. Besides, you've helped me and saved my men's hides. All right, have it your way. Skill points gained 1. Stein. Alright, something is clearly bothering Stein. Perhaps he'd be willing to talk about it. Listen to me, Stein. I understand the reaping makes times tough, and everyone's feeling resentful towards each other. But what's your problem? Your uncle's been treated with a potion from the temple. You're alive and well? What else could possibly be bothering you? Gloomy and reluctantly. The only one I resent is myself. What provoked such anger? What happened in Albinus wasn't so clear-cut. It wasn't the toll man who attacked me. It was the other way around. I'd have killed Ramlin, too, if he were not so fast. I'd probably have taken a stab at Thorn, too. Oh, I see. What stopped you, Stein? It was the bell. I heard it ringing throughout Albinus. It was like something hit me. I came to my senses. I couldn't believe what I'd done, but there's no taking any of it back. So what now, Stein? You don't feel the thumping now, do you? I mean, the bell's not ringing anymore. The bell's ringing, Hopper. I know it is. Even if I don't hear it, I feel the incessant thumping in my head. While it rings, I'm still human. I'm afraid to find out what happens when it stops. Fascinating. Aki, it would seem Aki wishes to talk face to face to you. Oh, I bet Stein doesn't have much dialogue in this game, because if I would have followed that warrior's recommendation, I probably would have killed him, and so then he just probably wouldn't show up at all. I suspect he's probably going to testify on Brennan's account. I think that's what's going on, is we're going to have all these events that are going to help us save him. So we'll see. It would seem like Aki wishes to talk face to face with you. Listen, Aki, I'm going to burn a hole in my head. Listen, Aki, you're going to burn a hole in my head with that stare of yours. Something's wrong. I still don't get why the Cardinal carried you in his arms. You may have undone the sorcery and be quite deft at swinging that sword of yours, but so what? Why would the Cardinal care? Grinning. What if I tell you I'm a great scholar, an expert of ancient manuscripts, an interpreter and translator? I'm a rare breed, my friend. Do you think the Cardinal would rather rummage through hundreds of manuscripts or just ask me for the answer? Incredulously. So, you're like a walking library or something. I don't believe that one bit. Answer me this. What was that fiend in Albinus? What did it want with Throbble? And why is the war with Frisia happening in Reap time? By the way, Aki, do you know that the temple looks down on such talk? You do know that the temple looks down on such talk, don't you? Squinting, maybe they do, but I don't. I'm no temple servant, and I don't do Coranzon's bidding, nor do I serve those robed buffoons. Oh, I wonder if my choices during this with him finding the truth is making him become not a zealot. My ears are open, but my lips are sealed, I swear on my honor. Do you want to know more about the monster from Albinus? What else can a killer be but an enemy? You should know your enemies by name. I don't believe for a moment that this reaper of yours has no name. What do the records say about the last reaping? There's nothing about our current reaping in any of the records yet. It makes sense that it was a reaper, although that's just what people call them. They consider themselves harbingers, messengers of the gods. They are records of some of them, but I cannot tell you anything about the one in Albinus. I have not seen it. Well, I'll tell you then. I was questioning a merchant. His name was Patagang, I think. The reaper was tall, half-naked, gray of skin, and had dirty hair, just like a shaman's, and he's had a bunch of chains and such on him. He also held a giant glaive made of a kind of drab metal. That was Dorpcall, one of the most powerful reapers. His weapon is the biggest clue. The hidden chronicles call him the Butcher of Bracana, or the Scourge of Bracana, or, well, he's got many names. Quite a bit of carnage he's dealt through the centuries. Nonetheless, a cunning beast, that one. I don't quite understand, why would a monster that powerful even need to be cunning? That's a weapon of the weak. Sorry, a storm's coming and I just wanted to make sure I didn't have to shut my windows. I'm enjoying the breeze, but I thought it was raining. Do the chronicles say something else? Don't fret. I'll not tell the temple about this. I know, Aki. I'm quite good at reading people. I don't think Dorpcall needs to be cunning. That's just how he is. The Reapers are not to be trusted, however. Not hammer-wielding Tybibar or Atrock and his sword and Bident, none of them. Interested in the reasons behind the war in Frisia? That's exactly right. Prince Treg sent the patrols westward the moment he heard the reaping was coming. We've never been friends with the Frisia, obviously, but why are they at our throats in the reap time? Are the gods not bestowing their due share of misfortune? Alright, Aki, I'll answer you. Let's say your prince squabbled with the cardinal, and they'd argue and go their separate ways, but if the temple's servant squabbled with one of the Frisian kings, the king's head would roll the moment he uttered a word of dissent. Well, maybe they got their own way in life, who knows? Maybe the temple rules their lands, while other monarchs try to maintain law and order. Still, Bracana doesn't attack Frisia in reap time. But we did, Aki. We started it during the first reaping, and when the second reaping struck, the one that ended at the Battle of Drowsy Deep, it was a Bracanan army that turned up. Those weren't Frisian lands yet. So that's how it is, huh? Bracana played dirty, and Frisia now expects payback during every reaping. And why tell me of the Frisian ways? The Frisian temple, the Temple of Divine Wrath, yearns to rid itself of both the Temple of Divine Retribution and Bracana itself. They're the only ones who truly command the Frisian troops. The reaping presents a good opportunity to finish off the weakened enemy. That's how it goes. The reaping comes, and Frisia is right on cue. Do you want to know why Trobel had to die? Don't tell me You've no curiosity. The monster paralyzed everyone, turning a third of the townsfolk against each other and beset the whole town with a plague. But Trobel was the only one. It killed itself. Even climbed the tower hall just to get him. Do you know why they need the reaping? Because they find nourishment in death, torture and pain. More precisely, those things power the sacred stones, imbuing them with their healing properties. Now tell me, is it any better to be killed by a friend than an enemy? What are you even saying? An enemy, of course? Let's see him try to kill me. A friend who plots against you is no friend at all, wouldn't you say? Much more infuriating than those who present themselves as enemies from the start. That's how it is. Your hatred, your tears, despite your best attempts to hide them, you are just food for the sacred stones. So if Trobel became a Reaper's servant and began to slaughter the townsfolk, the Reaper would find it quite amusing and satisfying. Praise the god, Trobel didn't agree to that. Only those of royal blood are certainly a lot tougher. Take Prince Trig, for example. What a man. His father was quite a fearless fellow when he was in his prime. That's why he didn't get on well with his grandson. We all bleed the same shade of red. Few have faced a Reaper and lived to tell the tale. Maybe Trobel's heart couldn't take it. The Jabon king massacred his subjects. Treg's ancestor, the Drowning king, did so too. Didn't matter in the end. They just joined the pile of corpses they created. I suppose that's enough for now. Perhaps. One thing I don't quite get, though, your words have a ring of truth, and I may be a simple swordsman, certainly no scholar, no peasant either. Yet I got a hunch that the temple servants and the Reapers are in cahoots. I mean, they're all making us fuss over their precious Meniers. Aki, take this pandemonium. This is a pandemonium I want no part in. Not in the way I appear in your eyes, at least. I've heard this reaping is the last one. Is it true? Think. What would it take to make this the last battle? No one else being left alive? No women? No children? Only then, maybe? If Dorpkal is on the Frisian side, does Berkana have its own Reapers? Do the same Reapers roam in the north and the south? Well, things happen. The only certainty, Reapers serve no one. Alright, well, I think I'm going to call it quits here for the day. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Thanks again to the subscriber that donated this game to the channel. I definitely wouldn't have never played it if that wasn't the case, and it's actually kind of piqued my interest a little bit. It seems like it's kind of the standard story with the immortal running around, having all the answers. People have passed time, given the legends and everything, and now he's sitting here trying to fix things and going to avenge his friends who died in the beginning of the show. But we'll see how it all plays out. So have a great day.